Mark and Steve ignite the spark.
And we're back live again, part 2 for tonight.
Yeah.
All right, here at the Main County Fair. It's picking up, Mark.
It is picking up. We've got a lot of people walking around, a lot of people smiling. It's a great night. I mean, it is becoming a great night here at the Meade County Fair.
A lot cooler than it was the last 2 nights.
Hey, and sitting in with us is the one, the only Judge Executive, Troy Cope.
Hey.
Welcome to the show with us.
Well, thank you guys.
I
Welcome.
saw you jump out of an airplane the other day on
did.
Facebook.
That looks like a familiar bunch of fellas I might have known.
Yes, could be the Golden Knights.
Yeah, those guys. That's a good team. That was a privilege and honor to be a member of that unit or organization and get to do that. So what was a minute and a half of free fall like for you yesterday?
Well, free fall was, I mean, you know, you got a lot of rush coming through.
Sure.
You know, the air is blowing and
You can't
you know,
hear anything.
You can't. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I had a couple people says, "How come he's wearing a helmet and you're not?" Mm-hmm. and we asked that question, and we're like, "Well, because if you wear a helmet and your head comes back, you're going to break our nose.
That's right.
why we have.
There we go.
You know why we have the helmet." But you know, great professionals, every one of them, and you know they really work to different people's comfort levels.
Sure.
You know, based off your experience, and you were talking about the free fall is unbelievable. You're tapping hands and everything else, and I've never experienced that before. But one of the things that everybody says, well, what was your favorite part? I said, you know, when we pulled, it just went to total silence.
Yep.
And you're just there, and
That's
it's
it.
just.
It's like
I mean, you talk about God.
You think you feel like one of those eagles soaring and just looking down, and you always wonder
just
if
God.
that's it. Yeah.
It's God. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, you know, as far as you can see, and you know, you're still above the clouds in some case.
I mean,
It's
I've
just-
never done it, but look, it looks insane to the views and such from your Facebook posts and stuff. They're insanely beautiful. And you said you did this down in Elizabethtown, right?
It's in Elizabethtown.
Yeah, nice.
Were they doing a COI event with the 3rd Recruiting Brigade? Is that what it was? Or?
No, I was a COI in 1st Recruiting Brigade.
Okay.
So all the senior military colleges, they wanted me to come in, and then the
gotcha.
junior,
Gotcha.
the 2-year senior colleges.
Now you got to do a graduation yesterday on top of that.
Today.
Was it today? Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
it was
today.
this morning.
And that was the advanced camp, or is that correct, or basic camp?
That was advanced camp.
Yep. So those are the folks that are actually going to be officers
Right.
in
Correct.
the coming year. So brand new lieutenants.
Well, so most of them are in between their junior and their senior year, and then, you know, they roll into their senior year, and the whole thing about this is if they don't graduate, they don't get their commission.
Well, that's true.
You know, and so
They
that's why
have
I
to
always
pay
try
Uncle
to
Sugar
remind.
a lot of money back too.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, I always used to remind my kids when they came back, when I was a professor of military science at Bucknell, hey, look, you ain't done yet. You know, you need to make sure these grades stay up, and that's a really positive thing about having cadets and having the military science programs, because we really monitor their grades.
Yep.
Right.
And you know what a lot of people don't realize is that the ROTC program is we base everything in a year group. So when you bring in a cadet, you know, your freshman, your sophomore, junior, and senior, your mission is what you're graduating in your senior year. Your mission sets each one of those years.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay, so once you get past into your junior year, okay, and those kids are under contract, it's very hard to get more. You can lose them, but you're probably not going to get any more.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And so it's you know, it's a real.
It's
you're
get them
always
early.
trying to manage.
You have to give it to them early, and then keep them. Right.
Correct. I mean, the kids that are rolling over, you know, from that sophomore year, were going to the camp they call Leaders Training Camp, come in and so they roll in, and they go at their junior year is when they go under contract.
Right.
And that's when they actually become, juniors in the program, and they're on that track now to. That's if they're traditional. Now, if they're an SMP cadet or Minuteman scholarship or a 4-year scholarship, it's a little different because they're actually in the program under contract as a freshman all the way through their 4 years.
Gotcha.
So
let's talk about Meade County. We're having the fair right now. Did you know that?
Yeah, where are we?
All week long. It's been Fair Week, and that's fair.
That's
didn't
very
know
fair.
that.
I like it. It's a fair thing.
So, from a county involvement perspective, what's that been like for you in the seat and watching all this unfold and support in the background? How does that work?
Well, as judge executive and being a part of, Meade County, the fair is so important to us.
Sure.
Absolutely.
It's our largest, really our largest event.
The
we have in
largest single
county.
event in the county. We're at 32,000 and counting already for this year.
Right.
That's all here in Meade County. It's people coming to Meade County. It's spending money in Meade County.
That's right.
And it's an awesome thing.
And so when we look at this thing called tourism, and how do we attract? This is an attraction of huge quantity. And and the neat thing about the fair is that when you come here, whether you're doing anything or not, you talk about community.
Right.
All right. So, how many places you walk around and people come out, everybody, well, hey, Judge, how you doing? Hey, Troy, hey, or I see somebody.
Yeah.
And it's just and I've talked to a lot of people about that. A lot of our more mature residents.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things they always say. We love coming to the fair. It may be hot, but this is an opportunity for us, to
Fellowship.
fellowship with
I
our
said,
community.
I said
That's
earlier,
right.
I said it's like Meade County's family reunion. It's
Yeah,
like
every
a
year, annual.
county-wide family reunion. It happens every year, the last full week of July, and you just don't want to miss it. There's so much going on, so many people that you've not caught up with in many, many years. We have people who watch this podcast who are out of state who want to be back here and watch and be part of this, but they're not able to. They're not able to. So our goal here is not just to, our main goal is to educate people about what happens in the fair, the behind the scenes, but it's also to bring a little bit. It's fair. Bring a little bit of the Meade County Fair to those folks who can't make it back too.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot.
It's fairly evident that we provide those type of services
That's
in
right.
this podcast.
But it's
I'm starting to feel like it's the end of the week or
it's
something.
got a little bit for everybody.
Yeah.
And you can
I
pick
can
and
find
select,
fairness in that.
what interests you. But a fair for me, when I was growing up it was I always looked at a fair as that's where the rides were.
Yeah.
There was different things, but there's everything. Beauty contests. There's there's judging contests. I was actually a judge in one of the extension offices things with what was it? Was muffins.
Okay.
What was it?
The muffins.
Yeah,
The baking contest. It was the
I
King
did-
Arthur's Court baking contest.
Yeah.
I think it was.
I did that one year. The dessert. I did desserts or something. I think one year, and I did. I think I did steaks or something like that. I think something real.
Oh, I would like steaks.
That
Yeah.
would have been.
The muffins were good. That was good. But I tell you, I got full. But after I got to the 22nd one, I was like, thank goodness I didn't eat them all.
You're only supposed to take a bite and not eat the whole thing.
You gotta
judge
You gotta pace
texture,
yourself. You gotta pace yourself.
taste, and something else. I think it was like 3 things you're testing.
Your
Texture, taste,
so
and
taste is the biggest one, and then you have texture is another one, and then presentation.
Yeah.
Presentation.
Did you have anything that you had to just do Tom Hanks and Big and spit it out, or anything? You didn't have anything like that?
No, I sure didn't. And I judged. We had six young candidates, and all their stuff was really good.
6 and older, yeah.
And then we had the rest of them were all adults. animals,
Right.
and we judged them separately, and it was good. It was a great experience for me.
Very cool.
You know, so.
Well, hey, and you got to test who's the best cook in all the county on baking, right?
Yeah.
Well, on that.
So,
Now, what I told everybody, I said, for next year, I'm looking for rhubarb.
oh, rhubarb pie.
I love
All right.
rhubarb pie.
Oh, there you go.
So,
That's a-
strawberry rhubarb pie
Yeah.
or something of that nature. And,
Nice.
And I said, we should set the conditions that everything has to be strawberry rhubarb.
rhubarb.
And I was like, oh man, and there was people that were like, rhubarb, because rhubarb's not popular to cook around.
I
Not
heard
right-
that.
not
No,
right here.
it is it was for my family rhubarb pie, but
Yeah, I mean, this is. I mean, it's not something that I've grown up with. It's more of a. I think it's more. I'm not sure if it's more south than here, or if it's a little more.
it's Michigan,
north.
it's
Is it
northeast,
Is it northeast?
Midwest.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where it was because, like, because when you get here, it's blackberry, it's blackberry, it's strawberry.
Sure.
Trying to think of some of the others. Cherry. But you get into those more southern berries where it's where it's really, really popular. Blackberry is a big one around here. Blackberry, raspberry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great Plains and Midwest region are commonly known for
was
that
gonna say-
English cuisine, known from the 1800s, 1600s.
Nice.
It was brought over with the European migration to the United States in the early settling. So
wonder
where
where
those European settlers have spread across the United States, it stays pretty prominent in the plains and
my
Midwest.
grandmother in Iowa. That's where I remember
There you go.
There we go. That's
tasting
Great
rhubarb.
Plains. And you don't get more Great Plains than Iowa.
No,
Well,
and
no.
the rhubarb out
I
there
haven't
grew
seen
very
any
well.
crash. I've seen a few fly in Iowa.
What?
Planes. All right, it's a bad dad joke. Got it. So, hey, I want to get on the topic of a couple of things that you've got going on. Obviously, we've heard from David. There's a lot of construction, a lot of things happening here on the fairgrounds, and on the fairgrounds within our county, there's a lot of projects that you guys are working on between
we are.
you and the esquires across our district magistrates. So I'd like to get into well, you can talk about Otter Creek and our growth there potentially, and then I think there was some groundbreaking and movement to prepare for the roads department and potentially an animal shelter.
That's correct.
Could you highlight some of that growth that we're looking to see in our near future?
Yeah, so we've been, I go back to the animal shelter in the roads department. Those buildings were built in 1978. Done after the tornado had come through, and that was, the construction projects that went on, and those buildings, they're old.
Yep.
And they're outdated. On top of the fact that is where they've been wanting to do, if we get a new judicial center, that's where they want to put that new judicial center.
Okay.
So that's something, that I kept in the back of my mind. What's the first, second, and third order effects? How do we start, taking care of this, this vision on the outside? And so on top of the fact that, when we go into the animal shelter, it was just, it was horrible. There's really no way that you can run the shelter effectively without having disease control, and we've had problems with different diseases like parvo and all kinds of cat problems and diseases there, because everything's just on top of one another. Right. And back in the day, that was probably okay.
Yeah.
Now there's a lot better ways to bring animals in and keep them healthy.
Right.
Because the other part is too is when we put these animals out and somebody adopts them. If we've had a problem with sickness, and then that person takes that animal home. Okay, and they have other dogs.
Yeah, you just spread it.
Again,
Right.
it's so there's responsibility in this too, and the other part.
Is the facility big enough to handle the growth in Meade County that we have now?
Oh no, we've exceeded. We exceeded a long time ago what our growth is
At the animal
cow.
shelter.
We've not only have animals inside, but we've actually set up a pen system on the outside that we can house animals. And we just, again, people just drop them off. They just drop them off. It's not a matter of just saying no.
Right.
Because if you say no, then they're running on the street because they'll let them go.
Yeah.
Right.
And that, and that's a responsibility that government has. It's not an option whether we want to have animal control or not. We are required by KRS, by the state, to have a county animal control.
So where would we put the new facilities?
So what we did, Steve, is we looked at Nucor had given us property when they during the Nucor project. They wanted to shift where the old burn pile was, and we actually got 20 acres of property.
Right.
We had cleared that property out of logs or of timber, and then we went ahead and we did the dirt work last year in preparation for this, and then we were looking at moving the new animal shelter and also the road department out there.
Now you got a grant writer shortly after you got elected, and there was a lot of anger and haste about growing the size of the government. But to my understanding, comparatively to what that person makes annually and what that person has been able to do for grants, is pretty sizable. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, so what our grant writer's salary is in comparison to how much grant money we actually bring into the county is it's in pence. We've last year we were in the millions that we brought into the county under grants.
And you're talking, multiples. When the grant writer writes, the salary is, like you said, it's
more than paid for his
more than paid for
salary.
themselves every year, not just 1 year over, but every year over and over again.
Right. And and the thing is that his first year, again, there was a lot of grants he was uncertain of. We were probably about a 50-50 shot on getting them. I'll tell you one that we've gotten that no other county's ever been gotten to is we got the rubberized asphalt grant that we've now gotten 2 years in a row. And so we were able to, the state pays for a mile of rubberized asphalt, and then we have to pay for another mile. So again, that's a lot of money in growth.
Explain what rubberized asphalt does.
So rubberized asphalt is mixed. It's a mixture just like regular asphalt tar would be, except rubberized asphalt is made out of recycled tires.
Okay, and is there an advantage to that versus the regular asphalt, or is it just a recycled?
So it's a recycled material. They believe, and that's why it's still testing. It's still testing it, experimental. But that the elasticity of that product as it goes in is there's a cost savings, and it also holds as long or better than normal.
Less
asphalt.
pothole opportunities and cracking from freezing in water.
That's what I was getting to is, does it help us against the fight against potholes and things like so like when because a pothole, most people don't realize that a crack happens in the asphalt. Water gets into that, it freezes, it expands it, and it kind of crumbles the asphalt. And I think one of the things that is hopeful out of rubberized asphalt is that have a little bit more elasticity and not just break apart as easily.
The elasticity, and then also the it molding together better. And preventing those access cracks from developing.
So I know there were some questions out in the Battletown area. You've got some stretches of road that are really bad in the Battletown area. I think there's a chip and seal placement that's going in right now instead of they would like to see it asphalt. But those are state roads. Those aren't county roads. So how does somebody that lives out with a state road, what's the best avenue to get those problems addressed and fixed for such a small community of farming out on those state roads?
So on 228 and specifically on on Big Bend Road. There is again, it's all state. I have through complaints, but I've talked to the state road department,
Right.
and they have a plan based off of the funding that they get in.
Yeah.
They're aware of it, and they're going to go ahead and do the bad areas right now, trying to chip and seal what they have, and eventually. Get to the point where they're do most of the road.
Do the most of the road again.
It's just the problem with road funds, and everybody thinks that's our tax dollars.
Yeah.
It all comes out of the highway taxes that when we buy gasoline, okay, it all goes into the state. And then the state takes a portion of that, and then they break that down to the county based off of, there's 5 points that they do populations, one Adam. The other part is the mileage that we have within our county, and then there's some other factors that go in, and then from that we get so much money.
Right.
Okay, and the thing is the money that we get down for our roads, okay, can only be used to roads. Can't use it for anything else other than roads.
Gotcha.
So, for those individuals, you've made yourself available to discuss, and obviously it's not anything that you sit on, but when the state comes in to determine those funds and expenditures and all that other stuff, how does that roll out in a county seat? I mean, people are going to just be upset. So what's your best advice for those that live out on state roads and they don't see the quick turnaround for something like that?
So again, I try to be an advocate.
Sure.
We know there's problems. Not everybody knows the access, how to get a hold of the state. They'll think that it's a county road, and of course we'll find out. One of the ways you find out a county or a state road is if it's got a number, it's a state road. If it's got a name, it's a county road. So we have a lot of state roads that are secondary state roads.
Yeah, right.
Okay, they're not 144 or 60 highway or 313 or 79, right? And they may even have, like around me, we have Riverview Road.
Right.
Riverview Road actually has a number on it. It's a 230. So that's a secondary state road. But again, the biggest thing with roads is when you have a problem with it, if you'll call it in and notify, then they'll try to get it on a work order.
Right.
And then that just kind of sets it up.
So
what I'll try to do is, when somebody says, hey, we've been calling and leaving, then I'll have Jeff Pageant, our road department director, and/or myself try to reach out to roads. And then we also tie into the Lincoln Trail, Elizabethtown, Ratcliffe Metropolitan. Right. And then we try to put in larger road projects for the county through that process.
Sorry about that. I didn't realize that I was taking that off.
So, I guess the other thing I would ask is, when we put in our new roads department, how much more efficient will we be at handling our own roads because of the work that you're doing now to build the infrastructure?
And you're talking about the new road department building.
Yeah, the new road department building location.
I didn't want to see that panic after we're going to get rid of everybody in the road department and put a new one in.
No,
we're talking about the new road department building.
When we continue to finish that phase and that project where we've relocated them to this 20-acre property, how much more efficient and effective will that make our county in relationship to that infrastructure placement?
Well, I think the efficiency is in the design of the building. Allowing if it's winter, we're going to be able to get our equipment indoors. It'll be prepared, ready to go out the door to do snow removal more effectively, more efficiently. The design of the building allows them to bring it in, keep it warm, and or melt the snow as it comes in, and then get it, get it washed away.
Right.
We'll have one of the things we don't have is we don't have a wash station. We'll have a wash station over there, and it allows us to take better care of our equipment, and the better care of our equipment that we take, the longer
Stewardship.
it lasts.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's the other thing too, is it's not just the road department, but we're going to actually take the building of the road department and move it over as a storage area,
Sure.
and we're going to rebuild
Gotcha.
that.
I mean,
Okay.
it's an old steel building, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
So, I got to repurpose it.
Yeah.
That's right.
Nice. Smart. I bet a
So-
lot of people didn't know that.
No, we made both buildings, both the road department and also the animal shelter, buildable in the future.
Yep.
So we've looked
Nice.
at it, you know, how do we do, are those, when we build a building anymore, it's not for 25 years. You know, we need to look at buildings as they're going to be here for a 40-year process.
Right. I mean,
So if,
I've heard you say that specific thing about a lot of things. How do we think about 40 years down the road? Right. Not 5 years, not even 10 years, but 40 years down the road. How do we get there? And it starts by thinking, how do we make these things last that
Yeah.
long?
Let's think about
Last
infrastructure
and on.
now instead of.
Yeah.
based off of size. You know, as our county, as our population changes, as we gain more roads, we bring in more private roads, blah, 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 down the line. Again, there's requirements that you have more people to take care of them, or more employees, more equipment that might have to take care of that. So if you don't have the ability to expand, onto those buildings,
Right.
you become constricted, and what happens with constriction is they become outdated
Right.
again.
Yeah.
And now you're looking to have to buy
That-
and build a new building.
That's going to happen all the time. The question is can we think ahead enough now
Sustainability
to
versus.
make this, that what we build today sustainable for the growth that we expect to have, and make sure that we don't have to rebuild every 10 years or every 15 or even 20 years. If we can get it out to 40 years, now we're in a more sustainable flow of having to build and fund and things.
Well, and I think
And
that's
none of these projects are cheap.
No,
I mean, that's the other thing.
And they're
I mean,
not going to get cheaper
No.
next year.
No, they're
So if you say, hey, well, let's not spend the money this year. Next year it's going to cost more.
Right.
And the year after that's going to cost more. It's just the way it is. Nothing gets cheaper. Everything gets more expensive year after year. If it starts getting less expensive, then we got a problem with our economy. We have to fix that another way.
right. Yeah.
in another, you talked about, projects that we're doing. We're redesigning. Of course, we had the fire in the Waste Management Center. A lot of people don't realize too that we in Meade County now have the largest transfer point in recycling for the entire state. I mean, I'm
That's
really
huge.
proud of what they've done.
Absolutely.
They've been able to turn the recycling program from being just a feel-good, oh, by the way, but we're losing a lot of money. They've been able to, through volume and through efficiencies, now they've changed what they were losing, and now they're like on the cusp. If they haven't made money, they're real close to it. They've broke even.
Yeah.
Which is a lot. There's a lot of money.
What are you gonna say?
No, I was going to say that I've noticed a big change out there about the things that they've, the things they've done. They're not just, they're checking IDs, make sure people are from the county, things like that. So that's, those are things that we need to do. If you're not from Meade County, then, you have to pay the fees and things that you're supposed to pay.
So I noticed you got a re-elect Troy Koch campaign running in the magazine this week. It actually talks about $800,000 of savings in waste management
In the waste
alone.
management program. Yeah.
So you're not losing. That's almost $1 million.
that was taxpayer dollars.
That's right. So that's amazing.
And
think-
again, using different grant programs, using more efficiency. The other thing I'll tell you, gentlemen, is the Waste Management Center and how we were doing flow.
Right.
We had employees mixing with civilians, and when I say civilians, people that don't work there, and it was an accident waiting to happen.
Oh yeah.
You got forklifts, you got heavy equipment moving around, and yes, the employees are looking, but if I don't know where I'm going, and I'm first time in there, and I'm driving around trying to figure out where I do my dump,
Yep.
I'm looking, but I'm not looking for a forklift.
That's right.
No.
And and we've been very fortunate that we've not had a major incident.
Yeah. All right, Judge, what is the one thing that you want everybody to know that's listening tonight about from the county fair to the county itself before we close out the show today?
Well, let me tell you something. Our county is moving forward.
Yeah.
And, you know, not only we have growth, but we've been able to keep our taxes down. We actually reduced taxes last year. And we're maintaining a budget. We're not increasing taxes over any of this infrastructure bills. We've managed it, we've looked at it, and, you know, again, through moving money and being able to be more effective and more efficient, that's why we don't have to raise taxes.
Nice.
On the other part of that is we've got some great things coming up in Meade County. And, you know, one of the things I'm excited about, you know, these building projects, they've been badly needed for years and years and years. We've gone ahead and we've done what we need to take care of our people, take care of our county.
Yes.
But more importantly, we're getting this thing called Otter Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you know, we took a little risk last year. You know, we took over the campground. There was a lot of people said, I don't know about that. But, you know, we were able to make a profit.
Yep.
We used zero tax dollars for that. Everything that we brought in was from what we made, and not only what we made, but based off our bills, we were able to pay that and make money on it. And then we took that money and we've reinvested it, as I call capital funds, back into
The campground. Very good.
The same thing is in how I believe that Otter Creek should be too. You know, when we talk about free's not free.
No.
Somebody, the taxpayers,
Somebody has to pay
somebody's
somewhere.
paying.
Yeah.
And you know, and I look at you know, our park system, especially in Otter Creek and things. We should be able, through our revenue, be able to take care of our requirements. Okay, and at the same time, we should be able to make enough money to be able to reinvest. There's a lot of projects. There's a lot of ideas of what we can. Otter Creek is a gem.
It is.
But we've got to be able, we've got to go into it with a management technique that's going to take care of things and not just, you know, put a Band-Aid on it. And by the way, let's take all the money and run. You know,
It's got a heartbeat. Y'all are bringing the rest of its body back to life.
Yeah, it's. I mean, when
it's
I
exciting.
grew up in Otter
It
Creek,
really is exciting.
I grew up in Otter Creek. It's a big deal for me to see it come back. You know, it was a, when I say grew up in Otter Creek, I was right outside of Otter Creek. I spent most of my days growing up riding trails, riding through Otter Creek, going to the park store, the park pool, ride all the way down to the river, ride down to the creek, ride my bicycle, I should say. We had a blast growing up out there, and I'm excited about the fact that we're going to bring that back for my grandkids, hopefully, and see them be able to go out and enjoy that the same way.
Well, you know, Mark, you talked about what you knew, okay? I didn't grow up in Meade County. I didn't have any idea what Otter Creek was, but, you know, the interesting thing is when I campaigned for this job, I had a lot of people talk to me about Otter Creek, you know, and what it was, and this neat thing, and why don't we have it, why can't we have it? And that's really through, you know, through the public, through our constituents. You know, they informed me.
Right.
And it was through that informing that I started asking questions. You know, to Kentucky Park System, and then it drove me to Fish and Wildlife to make that connection. And then you know, the next part was, you know, talking to them about the campground. And then, you know, I mean, it blew me away last year when we brought out, you know, we might be interested in taking over Otter Creek, and they immediately came back and said, well, you know, we would be interested in deeding that everything to you.
Yeah. Now, where are we at in the process?
Well,
I know we've said we want it. They said we want to give it to you.
Yeah. So that part is everybody's in concurrence, both from Fish and Wildlife and from Fiscal Court on the transfer. Okay. What hasn't taken place, and we're waiting for Fish and Wildlife to complete, is they've got to go in and they've got to take care of removing about 40 acres, which is the range okay, the rifle range. They've got to remove that out because they've got the ability to continue to do grant money in there and make it better. We don't have that capability, so we requested that they remove that. So they've got to do a survey, and once that survey is done, then they can remove that out of the deed, and then the deed can be then brought over to us.
Now, what's the time frame on that?
Well, I would like to tell you I have an exact date. I will tell you that I call Fish and Wildlife to my contact about every week and say, hey, how are we doing, on this? And the person I'm working with has been a partner since the very beginning. They're working through their hoops. I will tell you on a positive part that a lot of people, I didn't realize this, but Otter Creek was originally given over through the Department of Interior.
Right.
Yes.
The Department of Interior still has a lot to do with what Otter Creek is and what it's not, and where that property and who it goes to. So we've had to go through the Department of Interior. Fish and Wildlife also had to go through the Department of Interior and say, we want to
Which is a federal agency,
this
not a
over.
state agency.
Right.
It's actually part of the National Park System.
Yeah.
Yes.
Interesting.
And very interesting. And so there's
because of the
opportunities
lizards
there.
that live under the caves that run from the Mammoth Cave. I'm just kidding. That's a conspiracy theory.
He's,
it's like
you can't
Jules
take him
Verne.
He just keeps
anywhere.
on going.
Jules
You
Verne.
can't take him anywhere.
You
I mean,
know,
That's one of the reasons why I like about Steve. Is Steve was always looking at
I'm
an
coming.
angle.
I've got an angle, man. No, I'm just kidding. I hate to do this, but I know there's so many more topics you guys have been working on all year long, and I know you're going to be out campaigning and talking about those, but you're in the catalog this year. A lot of those accomplishments are in there on your ad that you've got for your campaign.
Sure.
Vote Troy Koch, I think, is the campaign slogan for Meade County Judge Executive. We're super glad to have you in here tonight. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
so
you,
glad
Judge,
to be
for
there.
joining us.
Thank you for all
Appreciate
your
it.
support.
Yeah, no, thank you, and thanks for what you're doing for the county, Otter Creek, the roads department, the animal shelter, just the general overall outlook of where and how we're doing business and reinvigorating our infrastructure.
That's right.
That is required. It's not an option to maintain infrastructure. It is a duty to do that. Otherwise, you're just adding on to the problem that will continue to be.
Oh, Steve, it was something that we had talked about 4 years ago. It's about looking at the problem and looking at a long-term solution that actually solves the problem. Doesn't we put a short-term solution that creates a long-term
Problem.
issue.
That's right.
It's just, again, we've got great, I'll tell you, we have great people that work for our county.
That's amazing.
And it's an honor to serve with them and to be a part of them. It's an honor to be the judge executive over our county.
Well, thanks for your leadership. We're super excited to have you on the show today. Mark, close us out.
Hey, that's it for the Meade County Fair. This is the last day. Again, come on out. It's a great night. It is getting even better and better as we move through the night. It's starting to cool down even better. And come out. Truck and tractor pull tonight. Rides and rides and rides. Come out to eat something. Come out to the fair. Thanks, guys, for joining us this week. It's been great. We'll see you guys again next year.
Talk to you then.
Absolutely.
Take care.